Yo, we back at it again. You know, it's your boy Ray Ray's podcast, live from beautiful downtown Dallas, live from the ninth floor of Hello Studios. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy one more time. It's a beautiful day. We're all blessed to be alive, man. Man, thank you. Thank you for continue to rock with us and support. Man, that means so much to us. Make sure you're still liking, subscribing, following all the pages on social media. Man, we got a great show planned out for you today. Man, we'll talk to you about that in just a second. But, it's the part of the show where, I like to pour back into people's lives. You may have had a bad day, bad month, bad week, or whatever it is. Let's reset that. Let's reboot that. Let's get you started on the right track, all right? So just in case nobody told you today, I just want you to know that you're beautiful, you're loved, you're needed, you're alive for a reason. Hey, you're stronger than you think. See, whatever it is you're going through, you're going to get through this. See, on my show, Ray Ray's podcast, I'm glad that you're alive and don't give up. So when you hear positive words like that, man, that sticks with you. When tough times come, you just be able to man, I am the shit. I can do what I say I'm going to do. I am who I say I am. Because words are power. If you say you're a loser, you're going to be a loser. You know what I'm saying? You think positive thoughts, positive things will happen, So that's me. Trying to pour into y'all today. Let's get to it. Let's have a great episode, man. I'll talk to you about today's guest, man. First I got to shout out to homie G-Lo, George Lopez. That's my big dog there, man, like a big brother to me. Got it, I trust with a lot of things. And, he's like, bro, I got somebody you got to have on the show. I'm trying to do my G-Lo impression. Hey, bro, you got to get to
That's close to him right now.
That's that close to him, right? No, but George Lopez, he told me, he's like, man, I got this guy you to talk to. He's got a lot of wisdom. He's got a lot of advice, a lot of things that'll be, positive for people to hear. So everybody give a warm Ray Ray's podcast welcome to the man they call Rifleman in the building. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up? Oh, man, I'm great, man.
Thank you for taking time out to come in and rock with us, man. We appreciate you. See, man, love you. See, the audience love you.
Yeah. Hey, shout out. Thank y'all.
I mean, thank you for taking time out your day again.
Appreciate it,
rock
bro.
with us. I mean, I know you got a lot of stuff, you're dealing with. Got stuff coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Again, thank you. We appreciate that.
I appreciate that, bro.
No problem, man. So what's been going on with you, bro? Talk to us.
Oh, man, it's been busy, man. I just got back from Atlanta yesterday, matter of fact. Spent the weekend out there doing some things and doing some business out there, and then working on a new project. It's about to drop here in July, actually July 4th, Independence Day. Celebrating independence as an independent artist, independent record label. We want to celebrate that, so we're dropping Smoke in the City 4 on July 4th.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. I kind of want to go on a journey with you. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
From what I know, you got in the music game about around 2002.
Yeah, man. First album was 2002 called High Noon. I was signed to a record label called Real to Real Records, a legendary label here in Dallas. Of course, started by my best friend at the time, 24K, may he rest in peace, and came under the tutelage of him as well as the tutelage of Blowfly, Cottonmouth. They were on the label originally at first. They brought me in, and I was a producer first, started making beats, and they grew into dropping my first album, High Noon.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of people I know that came in the game that way, started off either writing and producing, and then end up, getting behind the mic themselves. Right. What was that transition like for you?
Man, I started DJing at first. I was kind of a kid DJ, so I was around 13 or 14, DJing parties around the city. If you had a teen around that age, I was kind of the go-to guy for DJing. So I did that, and then it was an evolution into just making beats. I was a fan of the beats as being a DJ. You're trying to mix records and things like that. And once I figured out how to turn my headphones into a microphone in my bedroom, then it was on. Then we started recording, doing stuff over different people's beats. Eventually we found a beat machine, came up on that, and the rest is kind of history. So,
you remember what beat machine it was?
Man, my first one was a Roland 808. I had the drum machine. And then we graduated to my first machine I really, really purchased was an ASR 10. Started using that for sampling and making beats. Then I did the ASR X. And then on to like the Triton. You guys, I know y'all know about the Triton, of course. and then on and on from there, just using different equipment. So
I want to talk to you about something real quick. Being an artist, also, being producing and DJing. What do you think about the sample game?
yeah,
Everything. We've always had samples, but I
Right.
feel like it's even more.
yeah.
Even more samples.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Well, I'm a fan of it because if you think about the roots of hip hop, how hip hop started, it started as a sample game, right? Guys in the parks DJing, guys rapping over other people's beats. That was kind of how hip hop got started. If you look at the foundation of it all, so I'm a fan of it. I just wish that people would. If you think about it, back then they called it an interpolation of the song, right? People actually replay the song versus just taking it beat for beat for beat. I think now, guys, with the computer age as we're in, the AI age as we're in, guys are kind of taking the song and just redoing the song completely the same. I wish they'd be a little more creative with it, but I know I'm a fan of sampling, so no big deal about that for me.
Man, you just touched on the AI.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that? Because
Yeah.
from what I can tell is, I can get an AI version of Drake,
Yeah.
put
yeah,
him on
yeah,
a
yeah.
song,
Right.
and I don't have to say it's Drake or anything,
Right,
and it
right,
just
right.
speaks for itself. Like, what do you think about that? You think that's gonna be like a hindrance for these
Right.
artists? Like, it's gonna be taking money out of these artists' pockets? Like, to me, what I think about this, it kind of reminds me back of when Napster
Yeah.
first
yeah.
came around, and
Napster,
MP3s.
LimeWire, and all that. Yeah.
It's kind of reminded me of that, but more from a recording standpoint,
Yeah.
from actually industry standpoint.
Right. Well, I think at the end of the day, honestly, the creators are always going to win, right? So if you're a good writer, if you can write good lyrics, and you can find AI to have Drake say the lyrics, I mean, you might be onto something. You know what I mean? If you're a good producer and you can find an AI tool that's going to help you produce, then to me, the creators are always going to win some kind of way. No matter what happens in the game, as the game changes, the creators will always adapt, and the cream will always rise to the top. It's going to be interesting to see what happens now because you can't necessarily trademark a voice, not yet anyway. But I think it's going to give
It's
some
about
of
to
these.
be. I feel like it's
Yeah,
gonna happen soon.
it's going to happen soon, and it's going to give some of these guys some real life. I think to where the creators are gonna win ultimately at the very end.
Okay, so I want you to go back in time here. Let's just say around 2002.
Yeah.
Talk to me. What do you think like the music scene was like in 2002?
Mm-hmm.
Then let's compare it to where we're at now with today's music scene.
Well, it was different. I would say that back then, there was a threshold to get into the game. You had to have a little money to get into the game, right? So you had to press up CDs, press up flyers. It was definitely hand-to-hand combat, as I like to call it, where you had to get out there to the hoods, to the streets, pass your flyers out, meet people. I felt like you had a better chance at creating fans that way back in 2002. I remember going city to city, doing shows, having to have a show presence to get people to like your music. People could discover new guys a little bit differently back then. As comparison to now when everything is a little more digitized and online, it just really opened up the door to where there's really no threshold to get in. Like there's no like barrier for entry anymore. You don't have to have a certain amount of money. You don't have to have a certain features, whatever the case may be. So now more people can get more music out. So you got to do a little bit more to stand out now than you did back then. Back then, if you had the money, you could get all the right features, get the right producers, get the right look, and kind of make a name for yourself a lot faster. Now you got to kind of think of more strategically because there's just a lot more people out there.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of a conversation I had with my boy Jay Cruz. Shout out Jay Cruz.
Shout out Jay Cruz.
We had this conversation like a couple years ago, talking about the significance of having your song played on the radio.
Yeah.
That was a big
That was
deal.
a big deal.
Once
Yeah.
upon a time. Now, like you know how many artists have blown up that didn't have songs on the radio.
Yeah.
Like ones I can think of, like Wiz Khalifa back in the
Right,
day.
right,
Like,
right.
A lot of these guys got really big without having tracks on the radio. And I think this era has produced a lot of people like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like what's his name? Like Larry June.
Right.
Never probably heard Larry June on the radio.
Never
Like,
heard him on the radio, right.
I remember
Great career.
a lot of these people too, like Kevin Gates. Kevin
Yeah.
Gates blew up before he was
Absolutely.
on the radio.
Absolutely.
So that's that power of now even more so social media
Mm-hmm.
and also just being able to create a following.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is like, hey, You know, if I like someone,
Right.
and I'm gonna tell someone, hey, yo, you need to check this person out because I like them. It's
Right.
just that word of mouth that's helped build a lot of people, even more so today. And I think social media has magnified that tenfold.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I agree with you 100%. I think now for an artist, you can build your own fan base without you having to kiss up to anybody or spend money with certain people like we had to do back in the day.
Yeah.
Like you said, getting your record played on the radio was everything, right? So you had to go through certain people to get that done. But now with that barrier being gone and social media being there, you can create your own fan base and you can make money with the fan base that you create. So I tell guys all the time, especially older artists like myself that are trying to get back into it, man, you got to get with the flow. You got to flow with the way the times are flowing now. You got to post on social media. I don't care how cool you are, how hard you are, how G you are. You got to expose yourself and post on social media to kind of create that bond with fans now that was different than back in the day.
So I want you to talk about something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the challenges of being an older artist.
Mm-hmm.
Also, some people transitioning from the way the music game was back, you know, in the early 2000s or whenever to the way they are now.
Right.
Is the game also been kind to these older artists?
Yeah, I think so. I think because music to me doesn't have an age, right? So I've seen situations, I'm sure you have as well too, even recently, where songs that may have been done 10 years ago, 5 years ago, are starting to get new legs and new life through social media, through TikTok. Give a great example. You listen to Charlie Boy
I was
and
about to say that.
Thick Fine Woman.
I was at that shoot.
Yeah, that was 10
Yeah.
years ago. You know what I mean? And his song just got new legs and new life. I think I saw even older artists now, from Tevin Campbell to whoever.
Yeah.
They get these new life and new legs through TikTok. And next thing you know, they're back on tour. They're back doing shows.
Yeah.
Songs are starting to chart again. So I think guys have to embrace that. They have to kind of embrace their age, their longevity, but they also have to create new content. You know, one thing that I hate as a fan of, you know, guys that I really love from back in the day, from the UGKs, the 8 Ball MJGs, the Scarfaces, the Dr. Dre's, the Snoops, whoever. I love that when they do new music too. I'm still a fan of theirs, you know. So a lot of times guys feel like nobody wants to hear anything new. They want to hear the old stuff. No, we still want to hear new 8 Ball MJG, right? We still want to hear new Bun B, new Scarface. So when I meet these guys and see them now, I try to encourage them, like, man, get back in the studio. Keep doing some stuff. You know, I like to listen to guys that are my age, you know, talk about things that I go through on a daily basis, not just always guys in their 20s, you know. I want to hear guys that are older and hear their perspective as they age as well, too.
It's just something you can relate to.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I want to hear music that I relate to, you know. If I want to grow a business,
Yeah.
I want to hear music about, you know, growing business. I
Yeah.
want to hear about turn up
Right,
all
right.
the time. You know, sometimes you want to hear something with substance. I'm not saying people are not doing things with substance, but you get tired of getting turned up all the time.
But the caveat to that is, I tell older artists too, is to act your age, right? You can't be of age and still trying to act like you're 20 and making songs like you're 20, dressing like you're 20. All right, you got to act your age, because hip hop is celebrating 50 years this year, right?
Yeah.
We're 50 years old. Hip hop has never been 50 years old, right? But there's guys that are older than me that still love to listen to hip hop.
Yeah.
But what do we listen to? A lot of people say we don't listen to old music. Well, it's because the older artists aren't making any new music.
Yeah.
So you can see, if you really pay attention to the game, the Snoop Dogg's, the Jadakiss, the Locks, the Jim Jones, guys are still active at their age. They still have created a career, and I guarantee they're making more money now than they ever did when they were in their 20s and maybe even in their 30s as well.
Yeah, it's like you got to swap it up a little. You got to evolve. One of my favorites, they kind of evolved a little bit. Slim Thug.
Yeah,
That's got this whole persona called Sugar Daddy Slim.
Right.
And all of his, like, you know, all of his raps.
That's a great example, yeah.
He got some great, like, analogies talking about, you know, his time period where he's at in life right now.
Right.
And
he still does his freestyles.
Yeah.
He still does that, still connects on that level too. So you're right. That's a great example.
And it's going back to what we were saying too about, you know, things can pop off 10 years later. And that's funny. I was thinking the same example of Charlie Boy, Thick Fine Woman. Like, I was like, man, that came out of nowhere. That's the power of social media.
Right.
I remember another guys, what was it? The Ghost Town DJs,
Oh
My
yeah,
Boo.
yeah, my boo.
When they were doing the Running Man
right.
challenge, like, you know, a lot of these people were doing all these songs and challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's getting people back on the charts. Like I remember when Monica had the So Gone challenge.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
it's great
Right.
because you know sometimes some of these younger generation, they've never heard these songs
Nah,
before,
never have.
and it's their first time hearing it. Like,
Yeah.
oh wow, I
Right.
like this.
And it builds a bond with their parents because their parents remember the song,
Mhm.
and now they can kind of build a bond. They learn a new artist,
Yeah.
so that all works out to everyone's benefit.
And I think for me, like also, I think too, like you know where rap is nowadays.
Mhm.
You know, it's very melodic.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of the '90s. Everything
Yeah.
was very melodic. and
Right.
It's like It's like the R&B of the '90s is like the hip hop
Oh man.
nowadays,
Man.
kind of. And like the R&B now, there's some great R&B artists out there right now,
Yeah.
but some of the mainstream R&B is kind of more hip hop
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
than it is R&B. That's why I like to find I find like a lot of people like R&B artists that are
Yeah.
just amazing. They have that true R&B feel, like that '90s 2000s R&B. You know,
It's
that-
nothing like that. Nothing
Ain't
like
nothing
that.
like that.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I was talking about that in Atlanta this weekend because in Atlanta, no matter where you go, they're playing music, right? You could be in the grocery store, you could be trying to get something to eat for lunch, you could be trying to chill. They're gonna be playing music loud everywhere you go, and they play all types of music. But I was having a discussion with a friend of mine because I was wondering like, where is the new R&B artist at, right? And then it dawned on me, like you said, the melodic rap, the Rod Waves, the guys like that. You know, what's interesting is no one's really singing to the females anymore. Like that's the part I'm like,
yeah.
the females drive R&B. You know what I mean? Like when I was coming up in my day, I had a female in the car. I'm listening to some R. Kelly. I'm listening to some Drew Hill. You know, I'm trying to set the mood. Now I don't see guys singing to females anymore. They're more so singing to Pain or whatever the case may be. I just don't know why the guys ain't catering to the females. Now the female rappers are catering to the females, not the actual R&B singers. I don't know where that disconnect came from. I really don't.
So I want to get your opinion on something. You know, when I think about the R&B, like from like the '90s, 2000, it was very, seductive,
Yeah.
sensual. It's
Right.
like it took you like kind of on a
On a
was
journey. Yeah.
You can imagine it.
Right.
Now niggas just like, I just want to beat it up, girl.
Yeah.
Beat it up, beat it up, beat it up. Hey,
There's no smooth. Yeah.
there's no smooth.
Yeah. No
you know.
smooth. Yeah.
Ain't no game to it. It ain't
Yeah.
no, like,
Yeah. No game.
There's no game to it. It's just like I'm gonna beat it up, beat it up,
Right,
beat it up,
right,
beat
right.
it up.
And then send you on your way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just
tell
like,
your
it
friend
gets
to
straight
come. Tell
to
your
the
friend
point.
to come. Tell your friend to come over too.
Man, talk to me like what do you think about that, and what do you think the importance is of just really trying to, especially when you with your lady,
Yeah.
trying to set the mood right, you know.
Well, I mean, I don't know where that started. I think it's more the game has always been a copycat league, right? Guys always want to duplicate someone else's success. But my advice to everybody is when you see people going right, you need to go left. The lane is wide open for the seductive R&B. So I challenge anyone out there listening to the podcast, if you're an R&B singer, want to get into R&B, that lane for that seduction, cool, I'm about my lady, I'm finna seduce her real quick, is wide open. So I tell guys, when people are going right, you need to go left. That's the only way you're going to stand out in the game.
Man, I'm still kind of an old school cat at heart, man. Like when you come to my crib and I'm entertaining,
Yeah, I'm setting the mood,
right?
right?
I'm setting the mood. Like I'm like, I used to call myself, you remember Boomerang Marcus Graham?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Marcus Graham 2.0.
There you
You
go.
know when you open
Right.
when you open up the refrigerator, you had the champagne in
Right,
there, you had
all
all
of
the
that.
strawberries.
Yeah, you got the
I got all
candles
that.
lit. You got some little music going on.
Man, I got the vinyl. I got the vinyl
Yeah,
on deck. You know what I'm
right.
saying? We got that. Even if you want to go on Spotify, y'all know to watch the show. I got the P Dropper playlist.
Yeah, there you go.
That sets
There
the
you
mood
go.
off. If you need that P Dropper playlist,
But I have to put some blame equally on the females as well too. Y'all have to demand a little more smoothness, a little more player from the guys out there. You can't, you can't. I can't get you in the car and you ask me to play Gorilla when I'm playing, when I'm trying to play something smooth to you. So you got to get back into your cool too. You know what I mean? Let a guy kind of work for it a little bit.
Now, let's switch it up to talk about some of the ladies in the game right now. Now we have this everything, the women empowerment thing.
Yeah, of
going
course.
on.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the women's music is more nastier than the men's
Oh,
music
man,
nowadays.
yeah.
Like, there's like,
Yeah.
if I had a daughter, she wouldn't be able to listen to the radio, like sometimes. And I'm not trying to be unfair or
Yeah.
misogynistic or anything like
Right,
that, but
right,
like
right.
it's just like, oh man, if you teaching your girl to be a lady,
Oh man,
like I don't
got
want you
four-
talking about WAP. I don't
Man,
want you
tell
talking
you
about
something.
WAP all the time. And
I've got 4 daughters, right? I've got all girls, right? So I'm raising 4 daughters, right? All at different ages, and I'm right there with you, right? You turn the radio on, and it's the same message, just it's from different people. But I try to tell them, it wasn't like that when I was coming up. You had maybe 1 or 2, the Lil Kims, the Trinas, they would stand out because that's what they would do.
Kaya.
But I would tell her what's different is that music that Lil Kim and Trina and all them were doing was really for us. It was really for the guys to get our attention, right? The nasty talk was for us. Now it's a little bit different. Now they use it as an empowerment thing. So I can't tell people how to feel. I just wish that they would kind of make it more creative to a degree. Just use more creativity into it, not just be so blunt, because the culture it sometimes has become our worst enemy.
Facts.
You know what I mean? When the culture used to push us forward, now in some cases it kind of holds us back a little bit.
Now I feel like these women glorify having side pieces more
I'm
than
trying to tell
more
you,
than the
man.
dudes.
They rather be
I got my side piece on the way.
Yeah.
Like, damn. Like, all right, shawty.
Man,
Like,
I'm telling you. Well, Atlanta is definitely at that point. So for real.
all right. So I want to ask you this question. Then we gonna move on to our next segment we got on here. You know, not only are you an artist, right? You know, you're an executive side too.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that hat that you wear as a music executive.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because primarily our roster, the downstream clique, are older artists, right? So it's a little bit of education, kind of getting them up to speed to the digital age, but at the same time, it's just a different game. Like I try to teach the guys that now you really have to build a connection with the fans. You know, a lot of the older artists are very reliant on the record label still, right? They want the record label to be their manager, their promoter, their marketing person, right? When I tell them all the time the way the game is done, you got to do your own marketing and your own promotion. So it's a challenge a little bit, but now that I'm kind of transitioning in this artist hat right now, I use my artistry rather to kind of promote some of the guys around me and to do songs with other people, right? I'm a producer first. You know, I feel like that's my first passion, my first love. So I try to just get in the studio and just kind of work. I'm a studio person. So that's where I'm most comfortable at. And then, of course, being on stage is always a rush, too. But it's difficult, but we're adjusting pretty well. We've done really, really good numbers over the last couple of years in the digital age. And we've seen a resurgence in some of our physical product, too. So, like product we put out years ago, they're starting to sell again. So things are good. It's a really good time right now.
Yeah. I just thought about something, and I want to say this is kind of a PSA to people out there watching this. Don't always get caught up on what you see on social media.
Yeah, man.
When it comes to artists.
Yes, sir.
Someone can have like 100,000 followers, but they really ain't got 100,000 followers.
They can't get 100 people to come see them.
Don't believe everything you see on social media.
Absolutely.
Just because someone doesn't have a lot of followers on social media doesn't mean they're actually putting in work, doing numbers with their music, their streams.
Right.
Just because someone has also a low numbers on social media doesn't mean their music ain't fire.
Yeah, that's true.
You may just be discovered your new favorite artist.
Right.
So don't just be caught up into the numbers.
Yeah.
Because I got plenty of artists I can tell y'all about that they ain't got the best social media presence, but they're
killing
crushing in the game right now.
Well, it's a global game too. Like I know we do a lot of streams overseas, people that we've never met before. I tell the guys, I always tell them, hey, if you look on your Spotify for Artists account, those are your fans. They may not be the people that follow you on social media, but those listeners that you have, the people around the world that listen to your music, those are the people that you need to cater your music to. They respect what you're doing. It's not the people that are in your household sometimes, or your buddies or your friends, or folks on social media that like to post. Focus on the folks that actually listen to your music. And now I like to being able to pull it up anytime and see, okay, people listening in Spain, England, Africa, wherever the case may be, places I've never even been.
Yeah.
But now it's such a global thing to where I tell guys, hey, focus on your core audience.
Yeah. Real friends support friends.
No doubt.
It takes no time to like a post. It takes no time to share a post.
No doubt.
It costs $0. $0 to support your friends.
No doubt.
$0. So,
No doubt.
you know, if you see someone out there really grinding, and you say this your A1, your A spoon coon,
Mm-hmm.
you know, show them love. You know, do that. You know, tell people about your people. All right.
Right.
Cool. All right. So this is the time on Ray Ray's podcast. If this is your first time watching or first time listening to this, we got this segment. It's called
Slow down. I just wanna get to know you.
Slow Down. We just want to get to know you. This is kind of where we ask you some random questions off the rip. We don't know
Okay.
where we're gonna go with them.
Okay.
You know, we're just gonna see where we're gonna go.
Okay.
I have to mention that Slow Down segment is brought to you by Lyrically Correct. It is the lyric card game. You know, they have so many different versions from the 90s, 2000s hip hop R&B, straight 90s R&B, the new 80s version. They got the gospel version for your mama and them, and the old school version. So
Dope.
if you think you lyrically correct, make sure, you know, go to lyricallycorrect.com, put in this promo code RAYH23, get your 20% off all the products. Also, tune in. We're going to see if Rifleman is, you know, if he's lyrically correct. You know, we're going to find out. So make sure y'all tune into that, all right? Cool. So, you know, before we move any further, also, I want you to, you know, shout out all your social medias, all your media platforms, and all the things you want people to follow and find you at.
No doubt. So you can follow me personally at CEO_Rife, RIFE 214, or follow the label at Downstream Click. That's where you can find everything. All the artists are going to be there, and all our posts are going to be there as well, too. And, of course, the YouTube channel, Downstream Click, is right there, too.
Okay. All right. So, you know, you've been in the music game, you know, for a minute now. What would you rather have? A bunch of platinum packs as a platinum pack. I can't talk right now. Would you rather have a bunch of platinum plaques as an artist?
Okay.
Or would you like to be the pen behind all those platinum packs?
Ooh, probably the pen. Probably the pen. Fame. Me and Fame have a very weird relationship, right? Even though I put myself out there quite a bit, I'm very reserved. I like going to the grocery store. All right. I like hanging out with my kids. I like going to the mall. I like doing regular things. I like going to play golf. I like mountain bike riding. I like regular things, right? So a platinum plaque as an artist, there's no more regular things you can do. You know what I mean? So I'd much rather be the pen.
Okay. So if you're on tour, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can build your dream tour lineup.
Oh, man.
What would your lineup be?
Ooh, my dream tour lineup. Oh, man, it would be it'd be Dr. Dre, me, Dr. Dre, P. Diddy, and me, Dr. Dre, and P. Diddy. The reason I say this is because we have a lot of guests, right? I want to do like a producers tour where guys can bring out guys that they work with. That would be my dream, to do something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Diddy,
Yeah.
you know, he's got the verses coming out with Jermaine Dupri.
Oh my God.
If you had to pick a winner, who you picking?
Man, I'm gonna get killed for this, I know, but I'm probably gonna pick JD.
Oh yeah,
I'm probably gonna pick JD. You know what I mean? Now, from my understanding, now correct me if I'm wrong, they're doing two, right? One for hip hop and one for R&B.
I'm not sure how many they're doing, but I know they are doing one together. That's new to me hearing that, but that would be dope.
Yeah, because when I was in Atlanta, they were talking about they're doing one for hip hop, one for R&B, so two verses. One's gonna be in New York and one's gonna be in Atlanta, right? So if you had to break it down, let me ask you, break it down. Who's winning R&B? Who's winning hip hop?
R&B, I'm gonna have to give a slight edge to JD.
Okay,
I gotta give it to JD.
Yeah, I can see that.
R&B, I give it to JD.
Mariah Carey.
I was about to say that's the
Usher.
first name right there. Yeah, right.
Jagged Edge, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to get the R&B side to them. I'm trying to think. I could be wrong. No, I'm not. No, were they not on there? So Def wasn't Tiny and them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Escape was on there.
Escape. Okay, I'm trying to remember. I think Escape when they on But then you got if you flip over to Diddy, you know, you got 112. You got Carl Thomas.
Total.
You
got Mary J.
For a little bit, but like majority of her career, she wasn't on.
I mean, some of her biggest hits though. especially
hits,
early
are you talking
on.
About, okay, are you talking about on the label or just the
Now
hits they produce?
producers like this.
Okay, I was thinking more of like
Jodeci, Mary J.
That's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be tough.
It's tough, but I'm gonna have to give a slight edge to JD. One,
Okay.
because I'm a big Jagged Edge fan.
Okay,
That's
okay.
probably one of
All
it.
right, all right. What about hip hop?
Hip hop, man, that's
That's a tough one.
I'm saying it's a tie, man.
Now JD is gonna get in that Atlanta bag deep.
Deep, and that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I'm saying? He gonna bring out some cultural classics like the Bone Crushers.
Yeah.
The what's my guy's name, man? Sean Paul and them. I cannot remember y'all names. Youngbloods.
We don't give a damn. We don't.
Yeah,
give
he
up.
gonna get in that bag tough, you know.
Bow,
But
bow,
Diddy
bow.
gonna get in his bag too. He gonna bring out the Woe, the Black Robs, of course all
Rest
the
in
Biggie,
peace, Black Rob.
yeah, the Biggie catalog. Rest in peace, Biggie. You know what I mean? The
That's-
Lil Kim catalog.
Here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and we'll move on to the next thing because I could be on
Yeah.
this all day. Diddy and them, they had a big global impact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, JD was one of the founders. I think that helped really got the South
Yeah,
to where it is.
absolutely.
And now the South is taking over. Like,
Right.
no music don't come. You can't have music without coming through
You
the
gotta
South.
go through the
really.
South,
You
yeah.
got to come through the South.
Right.
And he was one of those pioneers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after your Scarfaces,
Right,
and
right,
your-
right.
and your UGKs.
Even before
He
the crisscrosses and all that, even before that. So
because he tells story like back in the day, he was being in Bobby Brown's studio.
yeah,
Bobby
As a
Brown was
kid.
one of the first artists that really saw what Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
was coming for. So shout out to Bobby Brown. A lot of people don't know that. Like,
Yeah.
he had the vision. Like, yo, I think
oh yeah,
this is gonna be the new
Oh, yeah.
mecca of black excellence, which is
it was what it is. Yeah,
it's what
it's
it is.
Wakanda now.
Yeah, it really is. And also another thing I feel about Southern artists, they're not afraid to get on other people's track.
No.
Back in the New York time, like, I ain't getting no. I ain't getting
Yeah,
no
I ain't
track,
biting, I ain't doing that.
doing no track.
Yeah.
Now everybody like, oh, you in the studio? Yeah, let me come over there and get your song. You
Yeah.
come get on my song.
Right,
Like, everybody's on each other's
Right.
song.
South
which,
did that.
the Southern hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about that, but we're gonna move on because I can be talking about this forever. I could talk about this forever. All right.
It's gonna be great though.
Okay.
It's gonna be great.
So say for instance, I'm Ray. I'm the movie producer. I'm trying to make a feature film about the
Okay.
Rifleman.
Right.
Who do you want to star as you?
Ooh man, that's
your
a great
biopic.
one, man. Dog it, man. I would say, you know what? I'm gonna show a little hometown love. I know he's getting killed right now, but I'm gonna show a little hometown love to my dog, Jonathan Majors, man. I'm gonna show a little love. I think he's a hell of an actor. I don't know nothing about what going on in his personal life. You know what I mean? But I think he's a hell of an actor. He's from the crib. So I'm gonna give him a little love. Say Jonathan Majors, man.
Facts.
Now he might have to put on a few pounds, but he can do it. He could do it.
Man, I was joking the other day on social media because there was a report came out that him and Megan Good was spotted at the
Yeah.
Red Lobster.
Right.
And I posted, I was like, hey, see some of y'all girls talking about want to be talking about go to Nick and
You know what I'm saying?
Sam's
She
and
had the
fly
red-
you out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
She was humble enough to
Yeah.
go to Red Lobster and sit down and eat them cheddar biscuits. So some of y'all eat some of them cheddar biscuits first before you ask your
Boy,
man to
I'm
take
trying
you
to tell
out.
I'm trying to
Take
tell
you
you.
out,
I'm
bro.
with that. That's a good move. That's a good move, Jonathan, right there.
Yeah. Okay. So if you could go back in time to any era,
Mm-hmm.
what time period would you want to go back in time to?
Man, I would say my high school years, like 93 to 97. That was when music just played such an important role in my life. You know what I mean? I can listen to songs from back then, and I remember where I was. You know what I mean? I remember what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Guys will never, some of these youngsters will never understand what it felt like every Tuesday to go to the store and get your favorite CD every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like having to walk in, buy a CD, stand in line, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Skip school, whatever you had to do. That era right there was really what sold me on music overall. So I would say 93 to 97.
Man, I say this pretty regularly here on the show. Is like music is one of the greatest things because music could really dictate how you feel or how you want to feel. Like I said, you got a lady coming over. I
Yeah.
want to set the mood.
Right.
I'm gonna put that type of music on. I want to get turned up. I'm gonna play turned up music.
Right.
I'm going through a little something.
Right.
I don't-
You want something else.
I
Yeah.
want to, slow and low. I want some
Right.
slow and low kind
Right.
of, just And you know what I'm saying? You know, music really kind of dictates how you want to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you ever noticed, like in church?
Mm-hmm.
I said this before on the show. Have you noticed in church? Why do you think they have praise and worship before?
Oh yeah, to set the mood.
They have to
They
set the mood, set the
Right.
atmosphere.
Right.
You know,
Makes sense.
you know, music is a big thing. All right.
Makes sense.
So, if you go back in time and tell your younger self anything,
Mm-hmm.
what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self, you're gonna get old. You know what I mean? And I talk to this. I tell my kids this. I tell my partners this all the time. Bro, you're gonna get old. You know what I'm saying? So you need to like live your life as you're gonna be older. You know, a lot of times I think we get in trouble living our life saying, okay, well, you know, tomorrow's not promised, right? Well, tomorrow's gonna happen.
Yeah.
All right, so you need to live your life accordingly. You have time. You don't have to always rush everything, get everything done. I don't need the money. I don't need all the money today. I need the money for like a longevity. You know what I mean? So I would tell my younger self, you're going to get old. You're going to have plenty of time. Don't rush anything and plan like you're going to get old. You know, don't just feel like you may lose it all tomorrow.
Facts, man. It's just one of those things. Like, yeah, tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah.
But plan for tomorrow will be in
Yeah,
promise,
because
basically.
when I grew up like in 92, 93, when the gang stuff was popping off real tough and things were going on around Dallas, you heard it every day. You're not going to make it past 21. You don't know what's going to happen. And a lot of times we live very, very fast when I wish I would have just slowed down and just knew I was going to have the time to be where I'm at today.
All right. 2-part question for you.
Yeah.
One, did you go to the Freaknik when you were younger?
Okay.
And secondly, what do you think about people getting exposed now from this Freaknik documentary that's
man.
coming out? I saw one guy that was a cop. He got backlash.
Yeah.
And somebody mama was like, "That's my mama."
You
Take
know
that
what's
down.
funny? So when I was, I had family in Atlanta, right? So I remember when I was getting ready to go into high school. I was in high school, freshman. I went out there for the summer. And one time I went out there and I caught Freaknik like when it was like 93, 94. And man, that influenced me to this day. Like I've never seen nothing like that. Kappa Beach was cool, like in 96, 97. That was our version here in Texas. Mm-hmm. But Freaknik was a whole different animal. I've never seen nothing like that. People on cars, people going crazy. But man, that was such a cool thing to do. I was there. I wasn't a participant in it. I seen it. You know what I mean? And if you in the documentary, you get exposed, man, just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to hide it. Just it was what it was. We were young. We were wild. There's some pictures at Kappa Beach. I know I don't want nobody to see, but it is what it is. You gotta own your past, man. You can't go back to your past. You gotta own it, man.
Yeah, if you're the first lady of the church.
Yeah, you first lady of the church. Hey, man. No one knows the Lord better than the sinner. So right. You know what I mean? Just owned it, man.
All right, so like I always like to wrap up the interview with these 2 questions.
Yeah.
First one being, if you could give any advice to anyone, what would it be?
Mm-hmm.
And no matter the subject, the topic, just what advice you feel like people should have.
Right.
And secondly, what do you want people to take away from the interview you did today?
My advice, back to what I said before, is that you got time. That would be my advice. You got time. There's time to make a plan. There's time to work your plan. You have time. You are going to get older. Don't ever feel like you got to do it all right now. You got time to plan your work and work your plan, as my granddad would always tell me. Plan your work your plan.
Facts. And what do you want to take away from the podcast you did?
Man, if you take anything away from the podcast, man, just know that if you are in love with music still, if you still want to be an artist, you still want to be a producer, you've got time to do that. This is a great time right now to get into the game. Ownership is easier than it was ever before. And songs are assets, all right? So just remember, every time you make a song in the studio, that is an asset. It's like buying stock, all right? So keep making your assets, keep doing your thing. And the money is a lot easier to get these days.
Facts. And again, shout out all the social media pages for us.
Yeah, man. Make sure you follow me. Follow the whole label at Downstream Click on any social media. And follow me at CEO_RIFE214.
Facts. Man, I appreciate you again taking
Yeah,
time.
man. Thank you,
It
man.
was a rocking with us. I know it took us a minute to get this episode.
Yeah, but it was
Hell,
worth
yeah,
it,
we
though.
got
It was a good
episodes.
episode, right?
Great episode. I love talking to people and, finding out new things that I didn't know.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Again, make sure you follow this man on social media, follow all his pages.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're still following us, liking and subscribing on YouTube. That's a big thing. That's major.
Yeah.
So continue to do that. And I start off with positive words, and I like to end off with positive words. All right. So I want everybody to get their swag on, rub your heads on like Birdman. You know what I'm saying? Feel yourself. So tell yourself, I will boss up mentally. I will boss up physically. I will boss up spiritually, and I will boss up financially. Invest in yourself. It is your boy Ray Ray's podcast. We out.
Hey, get money all day, get money all night. Sip my drink, ho, let's get right. Getting paid, I'm